The honour for Calgary-West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The federal government has said it will introduce legislation to legalize marijuana in a few weeks. But over the past year, it has made it clear that its legislation will leave much of the regulation and administration of recreational marijuana to the provinces. Ontario, Manitoba, and British Columbia have all been busy analyzing their policy options and even introducing stopgap legislation. So to the Minister, other than traveling to Colorado, what specific areas of policy work is your ministry working on?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the important question. We'll probably have to take the answer offline since I won't get it out in 35 seconds. But some of the areas we've started working on have to do with who's going to handle retail, who's going to handle distribution, how do we best keep pot out of the hands of young people in our province, Mr. Speaker, how do we continue to keep our roadways safe, Mr. Speaker, as legalization comes forward. So those are our sort of main areas of focus and priority, but Mr. Speaker, we will have lots and lots to say about this.
First supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Minister. Given that the Justice Minister has admitted that there's an enormous amount of work that needs to be done for the province to prepare for the recreational marijuana, and given that provincially controlled issues include making decisions about, where marijuana can be sold, the age of consumption, the sale of edibles, permitted places to smoke, allowing landlords to make rules governing grow-ops. Again, to the Minister, maybe I'll allow you to expand on this. Will you please indicate your government's preferred direction for at least one of the above issues? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And certainly we have been doing an enormous amount of policy work around this. As I've said, our primary areas of focus are ensuring that we keep marijuana out of the hands of children and ensuring that we're keeping our roadways safe. But Mr. Speaker, a lot of this will turn on consultation that we ultimately have with Albertans. We're going to be going out, as the Premier has said, to talk to them about age of consumption, about their safety concerns, about where, what they want to see protected in their neighborhoods and in terms of their children. So Mr. Speaker, certainly some of those policy directions we have already, but some of them are certainly going to be waiting until we've spoken to Albertans.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and consultation is vital on this major cultural shift. Given that roadside saliva testing is not yet available, but provinces have the ability to set the same administrative rules for drug-impaired driving as they do for alcohol, and given that Alberta has a successful zero-tolerance rule in place for alcohol that could be extended to marijuana, to the Minister, let me just ask a very specific question. Are you at least considering the same zero-tolerance rules for novice drivers for marijuana as we currently have for alcohol?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And as the member quite rightly points out, Alberta can be incredibly proud of its administrative sanctions, which have reduced greatly the amount of impaired driving on our roads, Mr. Speaker. And the government is certainly examining what we can do with respect to those sorts of administrative sanctions when it comes to marijuana impaired driving. As the member has correctly pointed out, the challenge is that there is no sort of per se limit as of yet in terms of where impairment occurs, but we are examining all of our options.